Okay, I didn't forget about you. I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed by you. your your response had a lot of little facets to it, and and I want to do justice to the video responses and the text responses, but I just haven't gotten around to all of it. I took some notes here. The first thing I want to comment on is we have a democracy. We have a representative form of government, and at the core, it's really one man, one vote. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what we think it is. And my hope is that most people will choose, given the evidence of the failings of the secularized government that we have. It's separation of God from government. It has put limits on democracy, and I say that those limits are unhealthy. If people want theocracy, they should be able to have it. If they want monarchy, they should be able to have it. If people want atheism to be the law of the land, that's what they should have. If they want witchcraft to be the law of the land, that's what people should have. So you're welcome to try to convince people of your desires, and you're welcome to do it every which way that's legal. Now, once Christocracy is the law of the land, certain advertising would be not legal. The subject would be, you could still talk about it. I mean, if you wanted to discuss the idea of witchcraft as a better way, you could still do it in an open forum where there's the opportunity for opposing views to be heard. Because Christianity is not hiding. I've made this point. Christianity is not going to hide from atheism or Hinduism or Buddhism or any other type of belief. The only thing is, we don't want to have a society that's in a total state of confusion, being inundated with every belief system out there, all at the same time. Now, would there be serious changes? Yes, there would be serious changes, but here's the thing. You can understand the Constitution, but you won't know all the ramifications of it. But the Bible is 1,000 pages or so, and it's very easy to find your way around with a decent concordance. And certainly anyone who is telling you what the law of the land is based on Scripture, they would have to point to certain passages in Scripture to prove their point. They would not be able to just say, well, the Bible makes it clear that should be illegal. Oh, really? Where? Show me. See, you'd always be able to say, show me. Show me where you are deriving that decision. Now, you're saying we agree peace is good, and that's good. We would have better foreign policy in a Christocracy state. We would not be at war with Afghanistan or Iraq, because we would have investigated 9/11 and more than likely found out that it was an act of treason. So right now, the Bush administration and various other peoples in the background would probably be in jail. That's my interpretation of the facts that I've seen that swirl around that particular issue. I mean, we all have to agree that 9/11 was not thoroughly investigated. The evidence was not thoroughly revealed about it. So I've had to form an opinion based on scant evidence. But there is a lot of evidence out there that alternative media has brought to light. That's why 6 months or so after 9/11, I turned from believing the official version to believing that it wasn't terrorism at all, that it was treason. All right. Why do you need Christ? You're asking. Why does it have to be about Jesus? Well, Christianity is a belief system that acknowledges that there must be a creator, because all of this matter, all of this substance in the universe came from somewhere. It had to have a beginning. The origin had to have a creator. Christianity goes on to show that that sin has entered the world, and that sin, the predisposition to sin is, or the inclination to sin, is present in all human beings. But there was one person that had no inclination to sin, and that one person is Jesus, who is now risen. And because he had no inclination to sin, God made him the mediator between us and him. Now, there is some logic in that. It does work. Many people have accepted that teaching. Now, if it's a school system and you have a child and you send this child to school, it would be, if you knew that this teaching was going to be presented to your child, you could say, look, they're going to teach you something that I don't believe. And so, don't be shocked when you hear about this, these stories about Christianity. And part of the belief system of Christianity is that there is a heaven and there is a hell. The heaven part is, kind of nice, because it means that you will live forever. The hell part is something that I don't agree with. You could say to your child, but it's frightening. So be ready for it. And you see, then your child would be a bit more prepared. And there would be no harm in that. I mean, it's your child. But you would know the law of the land. You would know what the school system is about. You will know that the teachings in the school system are not, off the cuff. They're straight out of Scripture. And if you don't believe they're being interpreted correctly, you could go into the school system and say, hey, you're teaching this doctrine about water baptism, and water baptism isn't scriptural. It's not sound doctrine. I mean, you could be an expert. You could be an expert in pretty short order. Once you know your way around the Bible and how to find references, it's a very easy book to use as a guidebook. All right, let's see. I covered all of that. I covered that. Now, you're saying in the matter of war that God is abused. Well, yeah. When we went to war, let's say in Korea, what was the purpose of that? To fight the spread of communism? What is intrinsically evil about communism that the United States doesn't have some intrinsic evil of its own? So we have gotten involved in wars, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, and dozens of other smaller conflicts where we've said God is on our side, but what we've done is we've turned the military into a goon squad for the sake of greed. So whenever we've done that, we've sinned. We have in effect what's the expression in taking the Lord's name in vain, effectively. If you say, oh, God is on our side, well, really? You're lying. If we're attacked, if there is really an attack on this nation, on our soil, somewhere, that's the call. That is reason to be prepared to defend yourself. But the first line of defense would be to find out more about it. Why was this done? Did we do something? If we suddenly decide we have an enemy, we shouldn't say, well, we don't negotiate with enemies. No, we should say, what is the problem? What did we do? What happened that you have attacked us? And you see, that's lacking in our foreign policy. Abortion. You arguing that abortion sometimes is necessary. I can show you scripture that makes it clear that abortion isn't necessary, but